Security is at an incredible inflection point as the second wave of digital transformation accelerates. For all of us who are responsible for protecting people and safeguarding data, we know it's a job that's not getting any easier. Like you, we at Microsoft fight this fight every single day. And the toll that breaches can take is not just in the financial cost to governments, organizations, and individuals, but it's that very human cost in time, in peace of mind, and a loss of sense of control over one's environment. That's what inspires me every single day, knowing that we're working together to protect against these attacks, to protect all people, all organizations, all communities across all our world. So every single one is empowered and inspired to innovate and to grow their future. Our fundamental ethos is to help build a safer world for all, and I couldn't be prouder of that. Now, the cyber attack landscape is getting increasingly sophisticated. Recently, Microsoft helped our community uncover the threat of the SolarWinds breach, one of the most widespread and complex events in cybersecurity history. It was a clear reminder of what we are all up against. I had a chance to sit down with Tom Bird, Microsoft's Corporate Vice President of Customer Security and Trust, to talk about how this threat landscape is evolving, what are the trends that are emerging, and what does this all really mean to us as a global community. Just following this keynote, you can watch the full discussion, but let's take a look at some of what he had to say.
Well, we published the Microsoft Digital Defense Report in September that pulled together data from all over the company to look at exactly this question. And what we saw is an incredible increase in cybercrime and in nation-state attacks. Cybercrime, there is business email compromise attacks that are increasing in sophistication and in the impact to our customers. And as everyone knows, ransomware has become an incredible challenge and a big problem in the cybercrime arena. And then in nation-state attacks, we see an increase in the volume of attacks, and we see an increase in the sophistication of those attacks. And they're led primarily by attacks emanating from Russia, but also from Iran, North Korea, and China.
Our approach to digital safety is unique in our industry because we bring two superpowers. One, an integrated end-to-end approach, and two, our incredible AI and automation. With these, we tackle security from all angles, at scale, combining security, compliance, identity, and management as an interdependent whole so you can protect everything. After all, business risks can come in many forms, and a siloed approach can open doors for exploit. It's our footprint across many technologies that puts us in a unique position to think about security in this holistic way, from identity and access management through endpoint, email, and application security to data loss prevention and into the cloud and SIEM. We have an approach that is truly end-to-end. And we have the ability to put our AI to work for you with the power of 8 trillion signals daily to give you enhanced visibility and always-on vigilance to catch what others miss. We build these protections into our platforms for seamless experiences that won't slow users down or stifle business innovation. And importantly, we integrate our solutions with a broad ecosystem of platforms and cloud providers so that they work with the things you already have in your environment. This helps you simplify the complex, build a more effective security posture, and achieve better outcomes. As defenders ourselves, we're passionate proponents of zero trust principles. Verify explicitly, provide least privileged access, and always assume breach. We believe zero trust is the cornerstone of effective protection and the foundation for security that powers your future. So let's jump right in and take a look at some of our latest innovations built around these principles. With me first to talk about identity, the foundation of a zero trust approach, is Irina. Irina?
Thanks, Vasu. Adopting a zero trust strategy is a journey which is unique for every organization, and every single step you take will make you more secure. In a world without a corporate network perimeter, identity is your first line of defense. While your zero trust journey will be unique, if you're wondering where to start, the answer is clear. Start with a strong cloud identity foundation. The most fundamental steps, like strong authentication, protecting user credentials, and protecting devices, are the most essential. Those steps will help you with the first zero trust principle: verify explicitly. To verify explicitly means I don't make assumptions about who you are and what you're trying to do. I will consider all information I have for each authentication request. I will then apply this information to make precise access decisions which are seamless for the user, enforcing the second principle, least privileged access. Azure AD Conditional Access is the policy engine at the heart of our Zero Trust solution, allowing you to explicitly verify the context of the request and then apply controls to enforce least privileged access. For every authentication request, it considers user context, device health, location, the resource they're trying to access, risk, and more, and then decides whether to let it through, restrict access, keep an eye on what the user is doing, or ask them to re-verify who they are. We continue to make conditional access even smarter. Our latest addition is Authentication Context that will allow you to enforce even more granular policies for the most sensitive assets based on the user actions within the app. For example, you can allow users to sign into your company's invoicing app from the personal devices with multi-factor authentication, but require a compliant device to do a wire transfer. You can also block access to specific actions within Azure Portal if any risk is present, or restrict access to highly confidential documents to geographies in which your organization operates. To go one step further in explicit verification, use multiple factors that augment or replace password. After all, weak passwords are the weakest link in your defenses. We believe the strongest authentication is passwordless, so we've been pioneering a world without passwords for all. More than 200 million people already sign into their personal Microsoft accounts or their work accounts powered by Azure AD without passwords. Many of you have been piloting and rolling out passwordless technologies like Windows Hello, our built-in experience on Windows platform, Microsoft Authenticator, a popular app for Android and iOS, or FIDO2 security keys from our partners like Yubico, Phaeton Technologies, and Northern Trend. Today, we're announcing that passwordless authentication in Azure AD is generally available. Now you can create end-to-end experiences for all employees so that they no longer need passwords to sign into the network. You can customize policies for different users, groups, and types of credentials, and track progress with the new reporting tools. Account setup and recovery are also passwordless with the Temporary Access Pass, now in a public preview. Temporary Access Pass is a time-limited code that can be used to set up passwordless sign-in or replace a lost credential more securely. For example, to set up a new account, a user would simply enter their email address and the temporary pass they received from their manager or IT, and then set up a strong authentication method, let's say Microsoft Authenticator or a FIDO2 security key, and they're done. No passwords across their entire journey, and their identity is protected against compromise and misuse. As I mentioned earlier, each Zero Trust journey is unique, but explicit verification powered by a strong identity is a great way to start. Join 425 million Azure AD users, try passwordless authentication, and help us make the world a safer place for all. Andrew, over to you.
Thank you, Irina. The SolarWinds incident is a powerful reminder that your security approach must be designed with this key zero trust principle of assume breach. Too often today, complexity and fragmentation is standing in the way of security teams achieving this. It's our commitment to solve this as we build security for all, delivered from the cloud. This starts by empowering your security teams with integrated solutions that minimize unimportant work and deliver that visibility across all of your platforms and all of your clouds. Some vendors deliver endpoint or email protection. Some vendors deliver SIM tools. The pieces work, but integrating those pieces together remains a time-consuming challenge. Microsoft takes a holistic approach that combines the best-of-breed SIEM and XDR tools built from the ground up in the cloud to improve your posture, protection, and your response. Azure Sentinel, a leader in the Forrester Wave for security analytics platforms, collects signal from your entire organization. It correlates that signal with AI and identifies the most critical incidents that you must address immediately. As the world's only cloud-native SIEM, you can add capacity seamlessly. In only 15 months, more than 9,000 customers have joined us on this journey to redefine security analytics. And after interviewing some of our customers, Forrester found that Azure Sentinel has a 48% lower cost compared to your legacy SIEMs, while reducing 78% of false positives. Today, we're adding more than 30 new connectors for Sentinel that simplify data collection across all of your cloud environments and make it easier to pull that data in from Salesforce Service Cloud, VMware, Cisco Umbrella, and many, many more. Now, while Sentinel collects data from anywhere, our XDR Microsoft Defender provides that in-depth protection for the broadest set of resources in the industry. That's both multi-cloud and multi-platform. So when you need deep security insights from iOS, Android, Mac, Linux, Google Cloud Platform, and AWS in one place, you can get that all from Defender. Today, we're announcing that next milestone in our journey to create the most integrated SIEM and XDR in the industry. And Sentinel now shares incident views, schema, and integrated user experiences with Defender. Here, you can see Sentinel provides a unified view of incidents that span XDR and SIEM. This incident looks like it has a user involved, and I need to drill down and act. I'm transferred to Microsoft 365 Defender, where I can continue my investigation with that rich context that I need. I can remediate and even close the incident right there. With this combination of SIEM and XDR, your defenders are now armed with the prioritized incidents and more context and automation than ever before to rapidly resolve threats. This level of end-to-end visibility and agility to act has proved critical for our customers. Zozo Group operates Japan's largest fashion shopping website. They have shifted to the cloud to accelerate their business in a super competitive landscape. They are employing Sentinel alongside Defender to support the many, many different devices, platforms, and the clouds that their employees need. And today, their security team is more efficient and more effective than ever before, freeing their organization to innovate. Now, finally, I'd like to end with one more big piece of news that takes us back to today's threat environment. We are launching the new Threat Analytics as part of Microsoft 365 Defender. Threat Analytics delivers curated threat intelligence reports highlighting specific threats like the recent SolarWinds attack, and does that right into the Microsoft 365 Defender experience. In addition to documentation describing the threat, sourced from both Microsoft threat experts and the broader industry, it includes the relevant incidents and alerts associated with this threat in your environment, and it recommends the mitigation and remediation steps that you can take right there. Together, we must work across the industry, businesses, governments, and the broader public to tackle these adversaries head-on. As defenders ourselves at Microsoft, we are committed to working every day to be your trusted partner and to do our part to build a secure foundation for your business to innovate and grow. Aleem, over to you.
Thanks, Andrew. At Microsoft, we think of Zero Trust as not only the practice of protecting against outside-in threats, but also protecting from the inside out. For us, addressing the area of compliance is inclusive of managing risks related to data. And that isn't just the data stored in the Microsoft cloud, but across your environment. We want our compliance solutions to be for all clouds and all platforms. So we've invested in creating that inside-out protection by extending our capabilities to third parties to help you reduce risk across your entire digital estate. Let's look at some of these new innovations. You may already be familiar with capabilities in Microsoft Information Protection that help you protect Office 365 documents. Today, we're announcing the ability for users to simultaneously edit an Office 365 document that has been encrypted with Microsoft Information Protection. Multiple users can now co-author and edit in Word, Excel, and PowerPoint simultaneously without friction or extra steps to re-encrypt or resave the document. It all happens automatically. This means that I can make edits from my Mac, while my colleague Kathy edits from her Windows PC. This confidential document will stay protected on both devices and platforms with the same sensitivity label and protection applied. Unlike some other solutions, now users don't have to make the trade-off between modern collaboration and modern security. Another area of innovation is data loss prevention. Recently, we announced Microsoft's unified data loss prevention solution. This solution is already available for Microsoft 365, whether that's on the endpoint, in Teams, or another Microsoft 365 service. We've even extended DLP with fine-grained controls to Microsoft Edge, so you can set policies for what can be shared on the web. Of course, we understand your environment goes beyond Microsoft apps and services. So let's talk about how we're working to bring this to all your platforms. We have many capabilities that protect and govern data across SaaS apps and platforms. You can already add classification and protection natively to Adobe PDFs. You can classify Office documents on Macs, iOS, and Android. And today, we're announcing the extension of our modern DLP solution to the Chrome browser. Watch as Kathy attempts to upload our document on the web. The action's blocked. This is powered by the same data classification that many of you already use in Microsoft 365. Another exciting investment is the new Azure Purview service. Azure Purview is a unified data governance service that helps you manage and govern your data on-premises, multi-cloud, and even in SaaS apps. Purview works with Microsoft Information Protection to help you find and classify sensitive information that resides in Azure managed data stores. Now, today's big news is that we're announcing the ability to scan and classify data in Amazon AWS S3 and other Azure connected data sources. This means customers can scan and label data within the Microsoft 365 Compliance Center and then use Purview to get that holistic view of their sensitive data. They can now quickly determine where different types of sensitive data exist across many data sources. As I mentioned earlier, Zero Trust is about protecting your data from both the outside in and the inside out. Today, we're announcing Insider Risk Management Analytics. With one click, you can scan your tenant audit logs in Microsoft 365 to identify potentially risky activity. This helps you customize our out-of-the-box insider risk policies to fit your needs. As we continue with this new normal of hybrid work, we understand it's critical to keep your data safe and to respond to risks across all your clouds and all your platforms in an intelligent and efficient way. Whether you're a company like Cerner trying to modernize healthcare, or Frostbank providing critical pandemic relief loans for small businesses, we want to help protect data and reduce risk for all. Vasu, back to you.
Thanks so much, Aleem. The past year has been a challenge for all of us, and I've been really inspired by the way our customers are rising to the challenge. I'd love to share with you one of their stories. Hamilton Beach. Like so many companies during the pandemic, Hamilton Beach Brands faced the challenge of needing to enable more secure, reliable, remote access to internal systems for its workforce of 500, as well as its partners and suppliers. Now, to do so, this global kitchen appliance designer based in Virginia boosted security by setting up multi-factor authentication in Windows Virtual Desktop with Azure Active Directory. This allowed them to match each person with their specific IT needs and permissions, In addition, Hamilton Beach also deployed automated investigation and response in Microsoft Defender. This helps them prevent data loss and prioritize alerts within Microsoft Exchange Online for greater effectiveness. Now, Hamilton Beach's IT staff can reduce risk and more efficiently focus their superpowers on addressing the threats that really, really matter. As we've often said, we believe that security is a journey, and we are passionate advocates of progress over perfection. Now, here are some things you can do today to strengthen your security posture. First, protect your identities. Use multi-factor authentication. Second, manage your device health. Keep those devices current. Third, assess your security posture. Understand and use your secure score. Fourth, strengthen your compliance posture with Compliance Manager. And fifth, get your security certification. Microsoft is so proud to support the skilling of cybersecurity professionals. We have 4 new security compliance and identity certifications tailored to your roles and needs, regardless of where you are in your skilling journey. So be sure to take advantage of that resource. As we bring our session to a close today, I want to thank each and every one of you for being with us here and for everything you do to make the world a safer place for all. We at Microsoft Security are committed to protecting our world and delivering innovations, expertise, and resources that tip the scale in favor of defenders, because the work you do matters. Security is a team sport, and we are all in this together. Thank you so much for joining us today. Security is at an inflection point. As we embrace the second wave of digital transformation, we're seeing attack surfaces increase exponentially and threat attacks escalating in terms of sophistication and complexity. To talk about this and what this means for us, with me today, I'm delighted and honored to have our rock star, Tom Burt. Hi, Tom.
Hi, Vasu.
So would love to start with, what are you seeing there in the threat landscape?
Well, we published the Microsoft Digital Defense Report in September that pulled together data from all over the company to look at exactly this question. And what we saw is an incredible increase in cybercrime and in nation-state attacks. Cybercrime, there is business email compromise attacks that are increasing in sophistication and in the impact to our customers. And as everyone knows, ransomware has become an incredible challenge and a big problem in the cybercrime arena. And then in nation-state attacks, we see an increase in the volume of attacks, and we see an increase in the sophistication of those attacks. And they're led primarily by attacks emanating from Russia, but also from Iran, North Korea, and China.
Well, Tom, I certainly feel safer having you by my side. I can tell you that, and your amazing, amazing team. So, Tom, in the recent few months, we've had a real moment of reckoning for our industry and our society, dominated by one of the most sophisticated cyber attacks that we've seen related to SolarWinds. What can you tell us about SolarWinds and what happened and the impact of this attack?
The SolarWinds attack was an incredibly sophisticated nation-state attack. And we learned about it at first from FireEye when they discovered that they'd been compromised and they knew it was a sophisticated attack. They invited us to come help them, which we did, understand what was happening there. And as we learned about it, what we discovered was that this actor, who the US government has said was a Russian actor, actually compromised the build process for an application called Orion by the company SolarWinds. And they put their malware into the build as it was being built so that it would be signed, and so it was really hard to detect. And that caused them to compromise 18,000 SolarWinds customers around the world got that malware. And then this actor, the nation-state actor, picked a much smaller number of those infected companies to actually then drop a second stage of malware and go in and conduct their espionage work.
It's fascinating and so interesting. Many were surprised that Microsoft became the first responder in this attack as a cybersecurity company. It would be great to understand Microsoft's role and what we did then.
was really exciting work, Vasu, that happened then, because what the next step was for the Microsoft Threat Intelligence Center, the MYSTIC team, took the data that we have, the 8 trillion signals a day that come in to Microsoft from our ecosystem, and they were able to take some of that data and examine it for patterns of activity that this nation state actor would leave behind as a trail that shows that some of our customers were compromised. And it was hard to find. This actor was good. They were hiding in the network traffic. They were closing the doors that they opened when they no longer needed them. But our teams were able to find these traces and hints sufficiently so that we could notify our customers when we knew they'd been compromised.
Such a great point. And you make a great point about the need for technology and human intelligence and human expertise to go hand in hand. Can you talk a little more about that, Tom?
It really took both of those things for us to do the work that we did as a company to respond to SolarWinds, because we needed all the data and analytics we could bring to bear on all of that data we had, but we also needed the humans, the threat intelligence analysts at Mystic, the rest of our Defender community, because Microsoft was also attacked by this actor. And as our teams worked to understand exactly what the actor was doing in our own environment, that helped inform how we could help our customers. And so we had both of those things happening at once. But we were first responders in the sense that we could use the data that we had and the ability to sort through that, to find customers, notify our customers that they'd been attacked, and then help them understand what they could do to respond.
Awesome. Well, one of Microsoft's superpowers is to look at security from all angles, inside out, outside in. That's why we have security, identity, compliance, management. And we have technology and human expertise, as you said. And I also believe there's another really important element, which is at the intersection of this, which is policy and diplomacy and rules of engagement. Can you tell us more about our role and how we're influencing that?
It's one of the things that we do that's really unique, Vasu, is that we don't just respond to incidents and we don't just build great products and services to protect our customers, but we're working to try to reduce the number and volume of cybercrime attacks and nation state attacks. Our digital crimes unit works to disrupt cyber criminals every day. And we've taken some of the great work we did disrupting botnets and creating creative ways to do that. And we brought it into the nation state arena so that we also are disrupting nation state actors and taking away the resources and the infrastructure that they use to conduct their attacks. And we have a policy team that works with our government in the United States, but governments around the world, to try to encourage governments to adopt enforceable rules of conduct that will describe and confine the activity of nation states in cyberspace so that citizens and enterprises are protected against these nation state attacks.
Thank you, Tom. You're such a great role model for all of us. Thank you for doing the work you do every single day. I definitely feel so much safer having you by my side. I hope you enjoyed that, and I hope you're inspired by that as much as I am. It is our duty, it is our mission at Microsoft to protect all, to protect that what matters and to safeguard our world and our societies. And we look forward to working with our entire community to make it a better world. Thank you.